It is challenging. The terrain has a lot to do with where we're going.
But instead of a thank you or pat on the back,
in violation of the age restrictions,
Thomas got this, an eviction notice.
10 days to get out, or they'll start fining me $100 a day.
This was a double stabbing. Police say one adult male has died and the other adult male victim is in the hospital right now with what they're saying non-life-threatening injuries.
Firefighters are working round the clock to protect key mountain towns in eastern Arizona under siege from a massive wildfire.
Last month, CBS 5 News told you how the HOA is trying to evict Sylvia, who is dying of cancer. Thomas signed a written statement that he was under 55 and allowed to live at Florence Gardens.
It's just amazing. It's just amazing with the wind and the fire and everything that could have happened. It's just absolutely amazing.
I've never seen a fire quite like this one. It's so dry. We're kind of getting hammered out there with the smoke.
It is challenging. The terrain has a lot to do with where we're going.
Those are the words of firefighters on the front lines as the fight to defend property and an attempt to contain this fire continues.
Last night we went in and we burnt out maybe about 4 miles of line, and every night's different.
We're doing mostly structure protection. We stay around the buildings and more or less just hotspot, look for anything that might affect or cause the structures to burn.
Hotshot and hand crews are responsible for 98% of the fire attack. It's firefighter safety first, then public safety, then property protection. They're doing the best they can.
The other night we're doing another night burn, and we were literally, our backs were to two buildings, people's homes, and I think one of those had gone down.
You guys gonna get a handle on this thing?
Eventually. I don't know when. Depends on how the weather goes today.
Victims involved in the situation had some kind of relationship. Now, this was a double stabbing. Police say one adult male has died and the other adult male victim is in the hospital right now with what they're saying non-life-threatening injuries.
Again, this is not the end.
So the group's threat of revealing more information may not be over. In fact, just Sunday morning, they released 450 megabytes worth of information they stole from places like AOL and AT&T.
Now, LOSX says that their goal in all this was really just to encourage other hackers to do the same. But Colburn says that these hackers are actually pretty rare because the only thing they get.
Chuck Thomas considers himself an active member of the Florence Gardens community, working security and volunteering whenever he can. But instead of a thank you or pat on the back,
in violation of the age restrictions,
Thomas got this, an eviction notice.
10 days to get out, or they'll start fining me $100 a day.
The HOA's attorney claims Thomas, who is 53, does not meet the minimum age requirement to live in Florence Gardens, so he has to get out. The only problem, Thomas has been living here for 6 years and says the HOA board was well aware he was underage and disabled. The former firefighter is paralyzed on his left side.
They knew my age and they knew I had a physical handicap, and I've done everything I could to help them out.
Thomas believes his sudden eviction notice is directly related to another HOA dispute with one of his neighbors, Carolyn Sylvia, who is 51. Last month, CBS 5 News told you how the HOA is trying to evict Sylvia, who is dying of cancer. Thomas signed a written statement that he was under 55 and allowed to live at Florence Gardens.
It's definitely wrong to have someone that's on their dying of cancer and be making things worse. They're just inflicting more pain on her. I felt it's a gross injustice they were doing for her. Then all of a sudden they started coming after me. And
hello, Mr. Sorchik. It's CBS 5 News.
CBS 5 News has made several attempts to contact HOA Board President Bob Sorchik, seen here taking photos of Sylvia from his car a few weeks ago, but we've been unable to reach him.
They've known all along that
Sylvia's mother, Joan, can't understand what the board is doing.
There's no compassion, that's obvious. I don't know. How can anybody be so mean or uncaring?
Thomas tells us he plans on fighting the eviction.
I got no place to go. Other than maybe the cemetery is the only place I like to go, really.